Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Gone are the days of wrestling with our favorite LJN wrestling figures, trying to convince them to stand up. What's a guy to do? I'll tell you what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get on Etsy and look up 4 Left 3D Creations and get yourself these amazing custom LJN figure stands. There is a custom stand available for every single one of your LJN wrestling superstar figures. Make your display shine by grabbing these custom LJN stands from 4 Left 3D Creations today.
Hello, everybody. Jason of New Ideas Revolution Cave. Welcome to the Eclipse Edition of LJN's Revisited. That's right, the Eclipse Edition. Look, I'm a nerd, and I love nerds. Love nerds. In a different life, I'd have found a nerd girl who played was a gamer and collected stuff. I love nerds. I love going to the Comic-Cons and seeing all the nerds dressed up. Granted, I'm almost 48, and some of those Comic-Con dressed up girls are probably 20. But still, I love nerds, my point is, folks. But the Eclipse nerds, it's a different kind of nerd. And I can't get into this. I've driven around. It's only, what is it? It's 1:30. The eclipse here is supposed to happen in an hour and a half or so. We're going to be cleaning out the garage, so we're going to be outside. Our town is the path of totality, whatever. So at 11 o'clock this morning, I was on the road doing a few things, not buying any brackets, thankfully, but on the road doing a few things. And there are people set up in camp chairs with fire pits going and grills going, and that's great. Have a good time, but I don't know, man. I don't know what the deal is. I'm not a science guy, and I don't care if I see the eclipse. If I fell asleep and took a nap, I'd be perfectly okay with that. If anybody wanted to come see me today, I'd have been in my office. It would have got dark, and then it would have gotten light, and I would have continued doing what I was doing. I just don't care about this. But there are people who really, really do. And people are traveling from far away to come to my little town. So parking lots are taking advantage of it by charging up to $60 to park there. It's a scene, man. It's a scene. So this is the special Eclipse edition of LJN's Revisited. And yes, I will do an Eclipse video, whatever that means. It's kind of weird. See, there was an eclipse last night at about 8:15. It got dark. And then it stayed dark until like 6:30. So that was a very long eclipse. Happens every day, folks. I see darkness every day. Anyway, in more ways than one. Let's look at the LJNs, but first, we have to look at how you display your LJN stands. Now that we have this room looking better than it ever has, you got to display your LJNs correctly. And by doing that, the way you do that is you go on Etsy and you check out 4 Left 3D Creations and you get yourself a custom LJN stand. This one happens to be for the figure that we're talking about. And it is, I'd say, a top 10 stand as far as the design goes. I love this. I love that design. You got the WWF right there. You got Hercules, Hernandez, in that Greek mythology kind of font. Love it. Of course, we are talking about Hercules Hernandez, ladies and gentlemen. The short-lived Hercules Hernandez. Why do I say short-lived? Well, because this particular outfit did not last long, folks. No, indeed. Hercules debuted as this, Greek mythology sort of character, complete with the leather, outfit. And it was very visually appealing. I thought that this debut was great. And that's why I think this figure is great, believe it or not. I really, really like this figure. And don't, as much as I like the figure, I don't have a lot of play memories of Hercules Hernandez. I certainly used Hercules Hernandez. I'm pretty sure I used him as a bad guy for the most part. I think if I were to bust out the LJNs and play again, I think I'd have a little bit more of a role for Hercules. Probably not a title role. Probably not a title, but definitely a role for Hercules because I think it's a good figure. It's not the world's greatest play pose, but it is a fine figure, and I really like the brown outfit. And they got rid of this probably, I can't remember, and I'm only in 85 now, but I think they got rid of this within months. Very short run as this particular gimmick. And then how long did he stay Hercules Hernandez before just going to Hercules? Which is fine. And then he's had interesting runs. Power and Glory was kind of weird for me to see Hercules, who I've only known as Hercules, becomes Power, right? Did they call him just Power, or was he Hercules Power? Did they acknowledge him as Hercules? I don't know. I thought Power and Glory was an okay thrown together tag team, even though I hate Paul Roma. It was Paul Roma, was it? It wasn't Jim Powers. It was Paul Roma. Yeah, I don't like Paul Roma. But anyway, Hercules Hernandez, great figure. Never met him. Sadly, as they all seem to do, passed away way early. Everything I've read, he was a nice guy in real life. But I really like this figure, and I don't know if I have the poster. I don't think I have his poster. No, I don't have his poster, but I really like this figure. I think this is a good figure. And again, if I played again, who does that? If I played with these figures again, I think I'd Hercules against Junkyard Dog just sounds like a good match. Maybe Hercules in a little feud with Tito for the Intercontinental Belt. Maybe attacks Steamboat, gets into a little feud with Steamboat, maybe. I don't know. I like it. I like Hercules. I think it's an underrated figure. Good figure. Let's take a closer look at the Herc right now. All right, there it is, the Hercules Hernandez custom LJN stand from 4 Left 3D Creations. Get yours today on Etsy, 4 Left 3D Creations. There he is, folks. The mighty Hercules Hernandez. Probably one of the weaker faces, I think. I don't think that's a great image. I think the hair is a little too dark, but really, what can you do there, I guess? I don't know. Maybe lighten up the hair a little bit. So not the best face, but love this outfit. I just love the molded on leather. What are we going to call that? I don't even know what that is. A thing. It's a thing. You got the HH there in the middle. Love that detail. Gold buckles. Got the big, arm things, the big arm things. No gold in the buckles on the arm thingies, though. That's okay. Great looking tassels that come down. The brown on black is okay, I suppose. I think Herc was wearing black at this point in time, so it's accurate. Black boots, little white sock coming up there. Good looking figure. Play pose is not one of the best play poses, certainly not the worst. A little bit more of the back there. And there he is, the mighty Hercules Hernandez. Very underrated figure, in my opinion. And as I said earlier, if I were, bored one day and decided to bust out the LJNs, I think I'd have a good Herc versus Junkyard Dog match. With Hercules getting the win, of course. There you go. Hercules Hernandez, LJNs Revisited. Up next will be Hercules' opponent at WrestleMania 3? Was it? Billy Jack Haynes? Was it 3? I think it was 3. Billy Jack Haynes up next on Wrestling Revisited. LJN's Wrestling Superstars Revisited is what I was trying to say. Good night now.